Age, I'm like that crazy uncle or nephew. You have no idea what's going to happen. Sometimes I'm going to bring order to chaos on the stage, and sometimes we're going to do some singing. But this event is filled with surprises and unexpected turns. You have no idea what's going to be coming at you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Can I quickly do something?
Oh, I was doing something with them, but that's fine. This is Christoph. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I would like to say something. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can. Guys, put your hands together for Christoph. Go
Thanks.
for it.
Yeah, hey, I'm Christoph. I'm a pitch coach, but I'm also a serial entrepreneur. Some of you might know my startup, Ride My Pony, or maybe my startup, Berlin. I actually have a new startup coming up as well that I'm going to show here on this stage tomorrow. But today, I want to do something different, because I was also recently hired by a VC firm, Sequoia Capital. You might know them. They're very famous. And they gave me this fleece vest. So now I'm an investor, right? You know that. And I want to pitch you a startup today, and that's the first startup that I invested in since I worked there. And it's a really cool startup, and it's very relevant to you, so I want to talk about that. So what's the problem this startup is solving? A lot of you are obviously the next Elon Musk, okay? Yeah, exactly, that guy. But you're not building amazing cars yet. You're not sending stuff to space yet. You're not building products everybody on the planet needs yet. You're struggling, because entrepreneurship is hard, especially in the beginning. And maybe you're struggling because you just have too many great startup ideas. Maybe you're struggling because you don't have the right team and your CTO keeps forgetting his email password. Maybe you're struggling because you just don't completely get your customer yet, okay? They seem to be weird. Or maybe you're struggling because you just haven't found the right investor yet. So for sure, you're not Elon Musk yet. In fact, the only thing you have in common with Elon Musk right now is that occasionally you tweet stuff that you shouldn't be tweeting, okay? This leads to a situation where you have a hard time actually looking at all of your social media streams, because that's where all of your friends from like college are posting, and they're not struggling entrepreneurs. They post pictures of the amazing food they're eating, while the only shrimp you ever get is this. And they're posting about these houses they're buying, while the only real estate that you have is your desk in a co-working space. Plus, you have to share it with an ICO expert as well. And your friends, they go on these yoga retreats to Bali. Like, how do they have time for that? The only thing that's retreating for you is your hairline. So it's pretty tough. And even if your friends aren't doing amazing things, what they're doing is Netflix and chill. And what you're doing at the same time is TechCrunch and pill. So life is hard. But don't get me wrong. I know you love doing your startups, and it's amazing. But it would be a little bit nicer if you had some more money, a little more time, and maybe a little more fun, okay? But there's obviously existing solutions to your problem, and your parents always tell you about them because they want you to use them. So what are these solutions? Well, consulting, that's one. Corporate job, that's another. And corporate innovation. But let's look at these products if they're really what they're made out to. So if you look at consulting, that product sounds amazing in the beginning, right? A lot of money, a lot of travel. But then they send you to Finland in the middle of winter for 6 months to restructure a paper factory. That's not great. Getting a corporate job sounds great, looks glitzy, but then you have to work with these boring people. That's not great. But now you say, yes, but this corporate innovation thing, that sounds amazing. Sounds like I have a decent paycheck, I have the relaxed 9 to like 1:30 lifestyle, and I can still work on amazing and innovative ideas. Unfortunately, reality, the same people. Only this wasn't even a joke yet. The same people, only now they think they're cool, okay? Gotta wait for the punchline. So what you're doing in corporate innovation is you work forever on these products, and then you launch them way too late, and there are things that nobody wants anyway, okay? So it's not great. And looking at these three in comparison, you can see that they're supposed to be good, but it doesn't really work. And the worst part about it is, to do them, you have to give up on your dream of doing an amazing startup. So that's not an option for you, because you're not an ironing board. You're a surfboard, okay? But don't worry, because I have a solution. I've just invested in the solution. The solution to your problem is called Bits and Pretzels. It's an amazing startup. It's a conference where you can achieve what you want, you get more money, you get more time, and you get more fun. Here's how it works. So in the beginning, your life sucks, okay? Then you go to Bits and Pretzels, where you immediately have fun, and you get inspiration, knowledge, and networking. Those three things, paired with a lot of hard work, lead to success of your startup. At that point, you start making money. Then, a couple more years later, you sell your startup for $1 billion, and then you have even more money and more time, and those two things are the perfect foundation for even more fun. This, in a nutshell, is how Bits and Pretzels work. But I want to go into a little bit more detail. So what are the features? Inspiration. Inspiration we do with amazing speakers. For example, we have Nico Rosberg here, who's a Formula One world champion. That's amazing. Of course, he's not quite the driver that last year's speaker, Stefan Raab, is, but then not everybody can win the stock car challenge, right? We have Jan Heitmann as a speaker, who's one of the biggest poker experts in Europe. I mean, of course, he's not quite the poker player that last year's speaker, Stefan Raab, is, but he's very, very good. And then we have Jan Böhmermann here, who's the best comedian Germany has right now. And I mean, he's obviously way funnier than last year's speaker, Stefan Raab. That's not a contest, come on. No matter which speakers you listen to, though, I can guarantee you, you will be inspired. In fact, on an inspiration scale that starts at 0 here, you'll be firmly over there. Let's move on to knowledge, because knowledge is important, and you'll get it here. These are some of the topics that are going to be discussed here in the next 2 days. And I just want to point out 3 of them, because you probably have never heard of these terms. And I think, because I know the future, right? I'm an investor. I have the vest. I know that they're going to be big in the future. So let me point out machine learning, AI, which stands for artificial intelligence. You should remember that, and blockchain. These things are going to be huge, and everybody will be talking about them in a couple of years. I know you haven't heard of them yet, but keep an eye out, okay? So on the knowledge scale, from this guy, with Bits and Pretzels, you're going to be this guy. Now, networking. Networking is important, and we help you do it. We have a matchmaking team that will make sure that you meet the right people. It's like assisted networking, and make sure that your networking game takes off right away. And also, to make sure only the best people are here, it's application only, the event. Raise your hand really quickly if you didn't apply to be here. Anyone? Yeah, I see one there. One there. Security, can you take care of that? Okay, thank you. Now, I know networking can be hard, so I have a couple of icebreakers for you that you can use. One that always works is, so was that dress blue or gold? I think that's a great start for a conversation. Also, hey, what's your take on quantum entanglement theory? Or if you're a foreigner and you talk to a German person, great icebreaker is, hey, sorry, I forgot, how did Germany do in the World Cup this year? That always works. But then when you're talking to a German person, maybe you also want to get rid of them because they're boring. So here's what you do, and it works every single time. You just say, hey, was that the Hoff walking past? And they'll immediately chase after David Hasselhoff, and they're gone, and you're free to go. Final advice for networking. It's really important that you keep your business cards you're collecting safe. So here's where you put them, and you put them there. In fact, that's where I'm keeping mine. So if you want one later, let me know. On the networking scale, we take you from isolated Kim here to super connected Kim over there. And when it comes to fun, I mean, nothing beats the Oktoberfest, right? And we make sure you have a great time on the 3rd day with our table captains. What they're doing is basically assisted drinking to make sure that your drinking game takes off right away. So on a fun scale, we take you from this guy to this guy. Now, some quick testimonials. Do people like what we do? Yes, it's amazing. They love it. It's totally great. But I also want to talk briefly about competition, or as we call it, the also-rans. Because there is Tech Open Air in Berlin. I mean, that's a great conference, but have you been to Berlin? It's dirty. And there's a lot of unemployed people hanging out there. It's really not great. Then there's South by Southwest in Texas, and they have great barbecue, and that's beautiful, but they have terrible beer because it's America, so that doesn't work. The drinking is bad. Then we have Slush in Helsinki, where there's just too much drinking. Have you met Finnish people? I mean, their entire country is named after a brand of vodka. How crazy is that? And the problem is not even the first bottle, it's all the bottles afterwards. So Slush is too tough on you. And then there's Noah. And Noah, I don't even want to talk about, okay? Just 2 words for you. Escort and gate. Google it, okay? You don't want to be there. Now, I have to run because my helicopter is here. I have an important meeting. I'm an investor, you know, I have a vest. I'm actually meeting a company that's trying to disrupt the fleece vest business. It's called fleeceleaves.com. I think they're amazing. It's going to be a big hype. But the final thing I want to say is, as an investor, the most important thing for us is investing in great teams. And that's what we did with Bits and Pretzels. We invested in a great team, and they're here, and they're going to come on stage. So let's welcome them with a big applause. Thank you.